We continue our reporting here on America's food supply. Production of beef and pork is down at least 35% now since last year because of the coronavirus outbreaks at meat processing plants nationwide. Fast food chain Wendy's warning their restaurants are facing beef shortages. In one report, in fact, more than 1,000 Wendy's restaurants are now completely sold out of burgers and other beef products.
All right, shalom, shalom, Israel. Brother Kazak Banya Hawada, Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Judah, come out here week in and week out to try to wake up the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans and let them know that we are the chosen people of the Most High, the Israelites, due to the curses in Deuteronomy and to history and archaeology and prophecy. We know that we are the children of Israel. So, with that being said, I come to talk about today. I guess I'm gonna just get in the topic of the famine, because it's a lot of things happening due to the coronavirus that the Most High sent. First of all, people need to stop giving credit to the so-called white man and to his wickedness, because really, whenever something happens on the earth, it's all ordained by the Most High. Can't nobody do nothing unless the Most High give the go for it. So, with that being said, with this coronavirus, that's a sign of pestilence in the earth. And what the coronavirus is causing is causing a shortage with the meat companies. So, that's leading to the famine. And the Most High said that it was gonna be a famine in these days. So we're gonna start off in the book of Matthew. Book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 7. It says, Book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 7, it says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places." So, this is Yahushua speaking on end-time prophecy. We're supposed to look in this word and see the indicators and the signs of the times, like it's saying in Second Esdras, measure out the time diligently, and basically look at the signs of the times, the signals that the Most High gave us, telling us when the end was gonna come. We don't know exactly when the end gonna come, but we can look at the signs of the times, the things that's happening in the word of prophecy, to understand that the end is near. So Yahushua said there's gonna be nation rising up against nation, kingdom against kingdom, Salakia, and famines and pestilences. Well, we starting to see pestilence now. You got the coronavirus sweeping the whole earth. The Lord sent that. Got thousands of people dying every day. They starting. Who is that? Austin? What up? You got the Most High sending. Famines and pestilences. Well, can I ask you a question? What? Say, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What's your come here.
No, I'm saying 6 feet, man.
Oh, all right, it's cool. But what's your nationality?
Well, it depends on how you define nationality.
Like your
My ethnicity?
Yeah.
I'm Caucasian, Polish, Irish, German.
Okay. Do you believe in the Bible?
Sure.
Okay. Can you answer? Was this Jesus? Did Jesus look like that?
No, that's the Greek version of Jesus because of the Council of Nicaea.
So it's different versions of Jesus.
Well, as far as how he physically looks, sure.
How did he truly look?
Well, he was born in Palestine, so he probably looks similar to what Palestinians look like.
How do Palestinians look?
They have brown skin, dark hair.
So they say he was an Arab?
I guess they don't usually use that term for ethnicity anymore, but Middle Eastern's.
But would you say so?
Middle Eastern's the preferred nomenclature.
Okay, so you say he was from that area, so he would look like he's from that area of people that are there today, right?
Or your historical remnants. If you look at pictures of Xerxes, who was the Persian king around that time, it's similar to that, which is similar to what people look like now.
Okay, so all right, think about our little geographic plane, America. So the people that originated in America, do they look like us now?
That depends. I look very similar to, the people who originated, no, they were Native American.
Right, so you can't say that just because the people that are there now.
The reason I said that is historically, I was going on historic pictures of people of Middle Eastern descent, like Cleopatra and Xerxes, and other. If you look at people, for instance, look at Mexico. People look very similar to the Native Americans because they what's the word? Can't come up with the right big word, but basically they integrated the Indian culture into the Spanish culture that migrated there, whereas in America, the white culture isolated themselves and committed genocide.
Okay, so we know, like how you said, the Native Americans and the Mexicans, we know those are part of the 12 tribes of Israel. You heard of the 12 tribes of Israel before?
Yeah. I gotta get back to work though.
All right, let me get you the scripture real quick.
Sure.
Just this one scripture. This is the book of Revelation. You familiar with that book?
Yeah, 7 horsemen.
Okay. We're gonna see if you're familiar with this scripture.
4 horsemen.
All right, this is the book of Revelation.
7 plagues, that's in Exodus.
Chapter 13, verse 9. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. Meaning, if you can understand, you know. All right. It says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So who led the people into captivity?
Lots of people.
Okay, so if you could think about it, who would you think led a nation of people into captivity?
A nation of people? I don't know. Usually that's not something you do willingly.
You said it's not something you do willingly?
Yeah.
Lead a nation of people into captivity?
Not usually, no.
So you don't take slaves willingly?
Well, people take slaves. They're not led, they're taken.
So it says, he that leads into captivity shall go into captivity. So didn't y'all lead the so-called Negroes into captivity?
I don't know if any of my ancestors did, but yes, Western European, which makes up predominant culture, white America, yes.
Y'all also led some of the Hispanics into captivity as well.
They're Native Americans, yeah.
And Native Americans, y'all. So you said your ancestors probably haven't, but you know.
No, because my ancestors were still in Europe at that time.
Oh, okay. So they were still in Europe.
Yeah, I don't have any ancestors who were in the United States before 1865.
Okay. Well, I have another scripture. This is my last scripture.
Okay.
Right? This is Isaiah 14:21. It says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. So you may not have done it, but you know your forefathers, which are the people of your nation, you know they committed the crime. So like if you was in a diner, you and your grandfather, and he got up and left, wouldn't you still have to pay the bill?
I suppose so.
Right. So that's what the Lord is saying. You know, even though your ancestors committed the crime, you know, you still here, you benefiting from the crime today. You get to walk up and down on, you know, stolen American soil from the Native Americans.
White privilege.
You said what?
That's white privilege.
Right. And there's a lot of that going on. There's
Absolutely.
It's running amok these days. So
I can go places you can't.
So the Most High said that y'all got to be recompensed for that. So like we just read in Revelation, it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. And it says, he that kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. And the saints are the 12 tribes of Israel, the people on this sign right here. You know, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, you know, we are the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Due to the curses in Deuteronomy, that's how we figure out who we are. Because it said that they were going to slavery on ships. And we the only people went into slavery on ships. So, you know, that's how we know who we are, and that's how we know who you are. You know?
Got your stuff down.
All right, brother.
All right, you take care of yourself.
So, you know, you got to get ready for slavery, because that's what the Lord said.
Whatever like you.
All right. So, yeah, before I started eating, like, what was I talking about? So, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24. Verse 7, it says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. So nation gonna rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. You know, we start to see a little bit of that now. You know, back in January when Trump went and bombed, what was it? It was Iran, I believe. and he killed the general. You know, we saw a little taste of that, but you know, he really talked about full-fledged World War III going on. But we are seeing other signs of the times, which he's talking about signs of pestilence. Like I was talking about earlier, the coronavirus. You know, you got that. That's a sign of pestilence. You know, you got the that's a disease sweeping the whole earth. You know, they consider it a pandemic. Got thousands of people dying every day. Now you got them talking about these hornets that that's coming from Asia, and they got the power to wipe out all the honeybees. And you know, the honeybees, those are what pollinate all the plants. You know, had a plant life spring forward and grow. You know, so that's a sign. That's another sign of pestilence, because you know those hornets, they also got the power to kill with their venom. They got the power to kill men. So you know, that's a sign of pestilence. The Lord even said that He was gonna send hornets. You know, let me get that real quick. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7. I believe it's verse 20. It says, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 20. It says, moreover, the Lord thy God will send the hornet among them until they that are left and hide themselves from thee be destroyed. So you know, it says the Lord gonna send hornets among our enemies. You know, the Lord gonna send hornets among these nations as a sign of plague, as a sign of pestilence. You know, like He sent the locusts throughout Egypt. You know, the Most High He go show us these signs of prophecy to let us know that the end times is coming. And you know, just because you say that happened back then, that don't mean it can't happen now, because the Lord required that which is past. Let's go ahead and grab that. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 15. It says, that which have been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and God require of that which is past. So it says that which has been is now. You know, meaning the past is gonna happen again. It's gonna come full circle. You know, so the same plagues that happened in Egypt, you know, America and the rest of the world, the rest of the heathen nations, they gonna get a taste. They gonna get a taste of that same prophecy, those same plagues. You know, so like how I was just speaking on the coronavirus. You know, the Lord sent that, and the coronavirus is causing other things to come about. You know, it's lucky these people with their loud ass cars, but the coronavirus is causing other things to come about. Like how you got they starting to say it's gonna be a shortage on the meats. You know, you got Tyson, which is a major meat company, and you got other like Purdue. All of those meat companies, they say they got shortage on the meats. You know, and all of their workers is getting diagnosed with the coronavirus. So you know, they got meat shortages going on. You know, people will start going crazy, thinking they can't get no food, thinking they can't provide for their family. What's that telling you? You know, it's gonna start a famine. It's gonna start a famine, and people gonna start going crazy in the head. They gonna start like how you read in the book of Second Esdras. Let me grab this first. We're gonna go to Second Esdras chapter 6. Because believe it or not, the Lord is finna cause a famine on this world. You know? And what is you gonna do to prepare for it? You know? You can't really do nothing besides keep the commandments. That's the only way that you can get the Lord's protection. Because the Lord's protection is the only protection that's gonna be able to get you through these times. You know? Not trusting in man. You know, not no other technique that you came up with in your mind. You know, not stocking up your house with food, because the Lord can make a way for that all to dwindle away. You know, He can have robbers come and swindle all through your house and have all your food taken away that you had stocked up. So you know, the only way to get through these times is trusting in the Lord and keeping His commandments. But we gonna get to that. So right now we talking about the famine. It says, this is the book of Second Esdras chapter 6, verse. I'm gonna start at 22. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And you know, we about to get a taste of that. We got a little taste of that when the coronavirus first hit. You know, a lot of people there was buying tissue, paper towels, hand sanitizer. All the food stores was empty. Walmart was empty. You know, had people going crazy. You know, so we finna get a full taste of that on the food side. You know, cause like I'm gonna put an article in the video, Lord willing, if I'm able to. But it said that like Wendy's, places like Wendy's, McDonald's, these fast food restaurants, and all of these grocery stores, you know, they finna start running low on meat. They running low on meat because these production workers, these production jobs, they don't have no meat, you know. They don't have none of that because the coronavirus is causing a shortage on all of it, you know, and that's all prophecy of the Lord. So I'm gonna read that again. It says, this 2nd Esdras 6:22. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. So the full storehouses, they're gonna be suddenly found empty. You know, it's gonna be a time where you wanna go in the store and you wanna grab you something to eat, buy you something, but it ain't gonna be nothing there. Them shelves gonna be empty, you know. You ain't gonna be able to get no Skittles. You ain't gonna be able to get no ground beef. You ain't gonna be able to get no chicken chunks. You ain't gonna be able to get none of that, man. All that's gonna be gone, it's gonna be done away with. You know, all you gonna have is your faith in the Lord. And if you got faith in the Lord, then the Most High will go, Lord willing, he gonna see a way through it for you, you know. But it's gonna get crazy. That famine gonna get crazy. Let's go to the book of 2nd Kings. It's lucky, I keep passing it up. 2 Kings chapter 6. Because like I said earlier, you know, when I read in Ecclesiastes, it says that which have been is now, and that which is going to be has already been, you know. So the Lord requires things that has passed. So, you know, it was a famine in the land back then, so it's going to be a famine in the land now. This is the book of 2 Kings chapter 6. I'm going to start at 24. 2 Kings chapter 6 verse 24. It says, and it came to pass after this that Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, gathered all his hosts and went up and besieged Samaria. So the king of Syria, you know, he went up, and Samaria was part of the northern kingdom. Samaria was where the northern kingdom was dwelling. So the king of Syria, he besieged Samaria. He camped all around it, had his soldiers all around it. Couldn't nothing go out, couldn't nothing come in. So you know, they couldn't do no trade with no other nations. They couldn't go out and get no food. You know, they just had to go on their own supply, and then once their supply went out, you know, it was a famine. So, you know, they didn't have no food, they didn't have no water, didn't have nothing. So what did they have to do? We finna get an example of that, of how it's gonna be in these times. Verse 25, it says, and there was a great famine in Samaria. So that caused the famine in Samaria when he besieged it. And behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 40 pieces of silver. So the famine was so bad, it was causing them to start eating unclean food. They was eating donkeys. They was eating I think it was gonna say they was eating dung of birds and all of that. Slovakia, but you know, they started eating unclean foods. They started eating things that wasn't according to the dietary law, because it got so bad. They was probably eating dirt. You know, like how in some of these third world countries, they make these things called mud cakes. You know, you got Ham over there making mud cakes because they don't got no food. You know, it's a famine all throughout their land. They can't grow no grass or nothing like that. So, you know, they out there making mud cakes and eating the mud cakes like it's cookies, man. You know, that's how the Lord finna do Babylon. You know, this proud ass nation. That's how the Lord finna do them. But going back on verse 25, it says, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it, until an ass's head was sold for 40 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. So they was eating dove shit, you know, bird shit. They was eating that. All because they didn't have no other food to eat, you know. Verse 26. And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, help, my lord, O king. Verse 27. And he said, if the Lord do not help thee, when shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor or out of the wine press? So, you know, the king of Israel, you know, he was passing through, and a woman was like, help me. help me. You know, she needed help. We finna see why she needed help. Verse 28, and the king said unto her, what aileth thee? And she answered, this woman said unto me, give thy son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. Wait, hold on. She just told the king what happened to her. She said a woman came up to her and was like, cause there's a famine going on, ain't no food nowhere to be found. So the woman came up to her and said, give me your son. We go boil him and eat him today, and then we go eat my son tomorrow. So people was eating their kids because there wasn't no food. You know, that's in the curses. That women was gonna be eating their kids. Hold on, let's go to that real quick. I believe it's Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 28. So Deuteronomy 28 and 56. It says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward her husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. Verse 57, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet. So and the children, her eye gonna be evil toward her own kids. And it says, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things, secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. So that was part of the curses. The Most High said, when y'all get besieged, you know, and that famine come, the women gonna be eating their kids, man. And now we getting an example of that in 2 Kings. So let's go back to it. It's the book of 2 Kings, chapter 6, verse 28. I'm gonna start at 28 again. It says, and the king said unto her, what aileth thee? And she answered, this woman saith unto me, give thy son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So she said, give me your son, we go eat your son today, and we go eat my son tomorrow. You know? Verse 29, so we boiled my son and did eat him. So they ate the first woman's son. You know, they ate her son so they could have something to eat, so they can survive a couple more days, have some food in their belly. That's off, man. You know, that's why you gotta have the Lord's protection in these days. That's why you gotta be covered. That's why you gotta be covered with the by the angels of the Most High. You know, you gotta be keeping these commandments and staying heavy in the faith of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. So the Lord will send you food like He did for Elijah, man. It was Elijah was alive during the famine as well. And what the Lord do for him? He had the ravens bring Elijah bread twice a day. You know. So verse 29. This 2 Kings 6 and 29, it says, so we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, give thy son that we may eat him. And she hath hid her son. So they ate the first lady's son. And then the next day, when it was time to eat the other lady's son, she said, give us your son, give me your son, so we could cook him up. But the lady hid her son. She hid her son. She's like, I ain't finna let you eat my son. You know, she hid him. So it's like she finessed the lady out her son. She finessed him, making her son into a meal. You know, a lot of that's gonna come back in a big way. You know, that cannibalism. You saw that in the book of, not in the book, but in the movie, what's that? The book of Eli. You know, them two old people. When Eli and the girl had walked in that house, he noticed that them people was cannibals. You know, that he was like, how y'all got meat? How y'all got meat? And it was found that they was cooking humans up, man. You know, you're gonna see that a lot in these days. That's gonna come to real life. You know, that's coming to real life. Like how it happened in the past, it's gonna start happening today. You know, once these meat shells be unstocked, you know, and ain't no food coming in off them trucks, you know, and them trains coming up empty, you know, ain't gonna be no food. So what people gonna do? They gonna be robbing each other, killing each other, trying to eating their kids like we just read. You know, let's go ahead and grab that. Let's go back to 2nd Esdras real quick. We'll go to the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15. 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 18, it says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Verse 19, here go the point. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. So it said a man not gonna have no pity upon his neighbor. You know how you have your neighbor having a barbecue, or you having a barbecue, and you tell your neighbor, you know, go ahead, come over, come get a couple burgers, come get a couple beef polishes or whatever, you know, and you got that friendliness with your neighbor. That's gonna come to an end in these days. You know, it's gonna be a lack of food, lack of bread. It's gonna be a famine in the land. So your neighbor that you was always nice to, and he is always nice to you, y'all gonna become enemies in that day. You know, it's gonna be in those times. It's gonna be when your neighbor gonna come knock at your door and be like, you got something to eat over here, and you gonna be like, look, man, I gotta save it for me and my family. You know, we gotta eat too. And then so you gonna try to close the door on your neighbor. He go bust in. He go bust through. With him and some other neighbors, he go bust through him and his family and some other neighbors, and they gonna ransack your house for some food, and you gonna have to fight them. You know, you gonna have to fight them. It's gonna be survival of the fittest in them days. You know. So let me read that again. This 2nd Esdras 15 and 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So they're gonna be spoiling their goods for lack of bread, you know, and great tribulation. A lot of that is gonna be going on in them days, you know. It's lucky. Brothers out here bugged out, man. Got spirits on them, man. Gotta pray for our people, man. That's why we gotta come back to the Lord these days. Get these curses up off of us. It's like it. Paper just go. So this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 11, verse 22. It says, therefore thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will punish them. The young men shall die by the sword, their sons and their daughters shall die by famine. So, you know, like how we just read in 2nd Esdras, you know, a man not gonna have no pity upon his neighbor. You know, men's gonna be dying by the sword, you know, and a lot of people gonna be dying, and a lot of people gonna be dying by the famine. You know? So what is you gonna do to prepare for that in these days? You know, what are you gonna do? What steps are you gonna take, you know, to get through this famine? What steps are you gonna take to get that protection from when your neighbors come in and they turn into your enemies? What are you going to do? Let's go back to the book of Ecclesiastes. I'm going to tell you what you got to do. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8, verse 5. It says, whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment. So, like it just said, it said, whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing. The famine is an evil thing. You know, pestilence is an evil thing. You know, neighbors coming up against you, that's an evil thing. You know, people trying to kill you just because they want your food, just because they want what's in your house, that's an evil thing. So, but it say if you keeping the commandments, you're not gonna feel none of these evil things. You're gonna have the Lord's protection around you. You know? Let's go back to the Apocrypha. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 33. I'm gonna go to 29. I mean, not 29, but Salakia. This is Sirach 32 and 24. It says, he that believeth in the Lord taketh heed to the commandment, and he that trusteth in him shall fare never the worse. So, you know, if you believe in the Lord and you keeping the commandments, you taking heed to them, you living by them, you keeping them diligently with all your heart, with all your power. You know, you striving to serve the Lord with everything in your heart. You know, and you keeping these commandments, then you're not gonna fare never the worse, like the scripture just said. You know, you're not gonna your food not gonna dwindle in your house. You gonna find that you make it through the famine. You know, you gonna find that these hornets don't even come up against you. You know, you gonna find that nobody that you personally not gonna catch the coronavirus. Lord willing, I don't want Ratazah. You know, if you keeping the commandments. Now I'm gonna go to Sirach 33 and 1. It says, there shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord, but in temptation, even again, he will deliver him. So it say, ain't no evil gonna happen to him that feareth the Lord. You know, how do you fear the Lord? We finna show you. Because like you said, ain't no evil gonna happen to them that fear the Lord. We gotta see how to fear the Lord. You can't just be like, oh God, I'm scared of you. That's not fearing the Lord. You know, just saying that you're scared of God, that's not fearing the Lord. Fearing the Lord, you gotta be some action that come with it. And we finna show you. I mean, I'm finna show you. Salaki. This is the book of Psalms. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 111, verse 10. It says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endure forever. So, you know, it says the fear of the Lord is keeping the commandments, you know. You're going to have that wisdom, you're going to have that understanding because you're keeping the commandments. You're going to have the wisdom to decipher the signs of the times, to know that all of these signs of pestilence and all of these signs of prophecy are signs of the end times, you know. You're going to know all these things. Let's go to the book of Job. This is the book of Job, chapter 5. I'm going to start at 19. It says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. So the Lord is going to deliver you from all the troubles. If you keep his commandments, if he finds you righteous, he going to put his angels, like it say in Psalms, his angels encamp round about those that fear him. You know, so he going to have his angels as a hedge of protection over you. You know, you're not going to fear all the things that's coming up against you because you know the angels is protecting you. You know. So Job 5 and 19, it says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. Verse 20, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. So he gonna redeem you from the famine. You know, you're not gonna feel the harsh tribulation of not eating. You know, you're not gonna go through all these things that all the wicked people around you is going through, because you keeping the commandments of the Most High. Verse 21, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. Verse 22, at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. So it said, at destruction and famine you go laugh. You go laugh because you know the Lord got your back. You go laugh because you know that this is something minor. You know, you go laugh because you know you got the Lord's protection. You got the angels around you. So you don't got to worry about nothing else. You know, you don't got to worry about no evil coming around you. No evil thing happening to you. Because you're keeping the commandments. You know, you got on that, you got that armor of the Most High, keeping the commandments. Let's go to Isaiah. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 65. And I'm going to start at 12 to get the context. It says, "Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter." Because in them days of the famine and the days of the war, when the enemy come in like a flood, you know, like how I said in I believe it's Revelation, when it said that, no, Salaki, it might be Isaiah. It said when the enemy comes in like a flood, you know, paraphrasing. So you got to be ready for those things. You know, how you get ready? How do you be ready? You keeping the commandments of the Most High. But all these things gonna come about, and there's gonna be a lot of death. You know, people gonna be dropping, bodies gonna be dropping at your side. You know, and you gotta be able to stay strong in them days. You gotta know that the Lord got His protection over you. Isaiah 65:12, it says, "Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Therefore thus saith the Lord God, Behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry." So He said His servants go eat. His servants are the ones that's keeping the commandments. They're not going to have a worry for nothing in them days, you know. It say His servants go eat, but you shall be hungry. Who is the you? The people that's not keeping the commandments. They gonna be the ones hungry. People that still want to trust in Esau, the so-called white man, and all his inventions and all of that, and want to pursue the American dream, the American lifestyle. Those people that's gonna be hungry during the famine. Those people that's gonna be killing their kids and eating them. Those people that's gonna be trying to rob their neighbor because they ain't got no bread. You know, a lot of that's gonna be going on. It says, "My servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed." So, you know, a lot of that is going to be going on. It's going to be crazy in them days, Israel. This is why we got to stay heavy in the commandments, keep the commandments, and keep the faith. So we can be counted righteous by the Most High and earn that protection. You know? This will be my last precept. Because all of this is, Salaki, I might keep going. But all this is ordained by the Most High. You know, this is prophecy. Especially on Babylon the Great. This is the book of Revelation. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 8. Speaking on Babylon. This shit always happens. So Revelation 18:8, it says, "Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh who judgeth her." So it said all the plagues go come in one day on Babylon, death, mourning, and famine. You know, we've been going into famine throughout the spirit, so you know, it say the plagues gonna come on America. So what do you need to do, knowing this? This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction." So the Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, is telling you to rise up and depart. You know, not physically pack your bags and get up out of here. You know, because it's prophecy that the Most High go deliver us from here. But He's saying, depart your mind from these pollutions of this wicked world. Depart your mind from the understanding of the so-called white man and these other nations, you know? Stop trying to live this American dream. Stop trying to make it here. This place is not our rest. That's what it's saying. Don't try to make it here in America, Babylon the Great. This place is not your rest. We were sent here to serve captivity, to serve a prison sentence ordained by the Most High, you know? And that sentence is almost up, Lord willing, due to the signs of the prophecy. So, you know, it say, arise up and depart. You know, come out of these understandings. Stop drinking the wine of Babylon. Matter of fact, let me get that. I believe it's Jeremiah 51. So Jeremiah 51:6, it says, flee out of the midst of Babylon. Now, does that talk about literally flee out of Babylon? No, it's not talking about that. It's talking about escape from these doctrines that is putting on you. Escape from these wicked lifestyles that is pushing on our people. You know, stop being homosexual. Stop doing drugs, you know, selling drugs to your people. You know, stop doing all of these, stop living all these wicked lifestyles and committing these wicked acts and come back to the Lord. You know, forsake your wickedness and come back to righteousness. You know, come back to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. It says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. So you don't want to be caught. You don't want to be caught fornicating with Babylon. You don't want to be caught living the lifestyle of this world. You know, you don't want to be caught, you know, doing all of these wicked acts when the Lord come back. Because the Most High, He punishing everybody that He catch living unrighteously. You know, he got a punishment for them, because He got a punishment for this nation and everybody that want to cleave on to it. Verse 7, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So, you know, this place, Babylon the Great, is wicked, man. You know, it got the whole earth drunk. Everybody want to be like the so-called white man. Everybody want to come here and celebrate Thanksgiving. Everybody want to come here and celebrate Christmas. Everybody want to come here and celebrate the 4th of July. You know, the white man got the whole earth polluted. You know, he got everybody want to be like him. He set the standard, because he the one running the earth. Like I said, Job 9:24, the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. So you know the white man running the earth. He got all these corporate businesses. He got the governments. Got boots on the ground in every country. You know, so he's saying that you know, come out of Babylon, come out of these understanding. Stop cleaving unto these other nations and cleave unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So you can receive that. Salakia. Thing keep getting in my eye. So you can receive the salvation. You know, Lord willing. Because in the midst of all of these, in the midst of this wicked kingdom getting destroyed, we're going to be getting beamed up. Lord willing, if you keeping the commandments and the Lord finds you righteous in that time, you know, you're going to get beamed up by the chariots and you're going to get dropped off in the wilderness. Lord willing. That's what we want. We don't want this kingdom to go on forever. We ain't trying to pay taxes to the white man forever. We ain't trying to be subjugated to being last hired and first fired, living under these curses forever, man. We ain't trying to have that go on forever. Some of y'all act like y'all do. Some of y'all act like y'all cool with being in the hood. Some of y'all act like y'all cool with living under the so-called white man, eating the scraps that come off of his table. You know, that shit ain't cool, man. We supposed to be the ones. They supposed to be the ones eating off of our scraps. You know, they supposed to be the ones serving under us, but we serving under them, and we done got used to it. You know, y'all acting like y'all kind of like it. But like I was saying, you know, in the midst of Babylon's destruction, we're gonna be getting beamed up. So let me go ahead and grab that. Believe us. We'll go back to the book of Matthew. This book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse, I'm going to start at 30. Matthew 24, verse 30, it says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man, Yahushai Hamashiach, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. It says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. So he gonna come crack that sky, and the whole earth gonna mourn. You know, all of these nations, because they gonna know that it's the end time. They gonna know that their kingdom is up. They knowing that they finna be subjugated under the Israelites, and it's gonna be our time to reign. You know, it says, and all the tribes of the earth shall mourn. Let me ask you a question, brother. What's your nationality, brother? You can't answer the question?
What?
I said, what's your nationality?
Black.
All right, brother, let me ask you another question, brother. What black mean? Huh? You're not good, brother. Ain't nobody good but God. See, that's why we out here destroyed, man. So where was I at? It say, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. So you know the Son of Man, Yahushua, you know he gonna come, he gonna crack that sky, and then it's gonna be go time. You know, it's gonna be time to get beamed up, Lord willing. If you righteous, if the Lord finds you righteous in them days to receive the salvation, you gonna get it. Verse 31, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. How does they go gather us up? You know, you starting to see news articles about the chariots every day now. You know, you seeing chariots. You might see a light in the sky. You know, it's too low to be a star. Too bright. Ain't no stars out. So you know, like sometimes I see a light in the sky, and I think it's a chariot because it's way too low to be a star, and it's way too and it's just sitting in one spot, so it can't be a plane. You know, it's not blinking. But you know, and sometimes they move, you know, and you notice that it's a chariot. That's how we gonna receive our salvation. You know, the Lord gonna send his angels flying in the chariots, and they gonna start beaming up Israel. You know, we gonna get beamed up like an alien abduction. That's how it's gonna be. You know, like how it's saying Wisdom of Solomon. Salakia. How it's saying Wisdom of Solomon is gonna be a strange salvation, because it's gonna be something like the earth never seen before. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. It says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. So when we see them chariots, we're going to know it's our time to get up out of here. We're going to stand in great boldness. We're going to be like, yeah, y'all can't do nothing to us now, because the chariots, they finna beam us up, Lord willing, you know. And it says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. So they're going to be amazed. They're going to be in fear, because the so-called UFOs, which we know as IFOs, identified flying objects, you know, those are the chariots of the Most High, getting driven by the angels, coming to save the Most High's elect. You know, Yasha Allah, the 12 tribes of Israel, to beam us up and to give us the salvation from the destruction of this kingdom. You know. So let me read that again. This is Matthew 24 and 31. And he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So, you know, that's going to be like another Exodus for us, man. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and grab that in Jeremiah. Jeremiah 16. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 16, verse 14. It says, therefore, behold, the day is come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. So they ain't gonna be talking about that no more. They ain't gonna be talking about how the Most High brought us out of Egypt. You know, that ain't gonna be the talk of the times no more. You know, right now it is, because ain't nothing else happened like that yet. You know, ain't nothing else happened. Ain't nothing of significance happened like that. You know, how the Lord brought them through the Red Sea and parted the Red Sea so they could walk through it. How the Lord put all them plagues on Egypt and caused Israel to flee out of there, you know, with no harm on them, you know. So and how the Most High destroyed Pharaoh's army by drowning them in the Red Sea when they tried to walk through it. You know, it's not nothing that ever happened like that before. So you know, it's gonna be a time where they're not gonna be talking about that no more, because they're gonna be talking about this. They're gonna be talking about the salvation that's gonna happen in these last days. It says, I'm gonna read it again. It says, therefore behold, this Jeremiah 16 and 14. Therefore behold, the day is come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north. So, what's the land of the north? Babylon the Great, When he redeem us, from this captivity and give us the salvation, that's gonna be the talk of the time. They're gonna be talking about that forever. The Lord sent his chariots. We're gonna be telling our kids' kids. It's gonna be passed down from generation to generation. How the Lord sent the angels to come save us from this wicked kingdom, to save us from this slavery and this oppression and this trial and tribulation that come on us every day. Living in this wicked kingdom, being oppressed by the so-called white man, the East Indian man, the Chinese man. All these other nations, getting oppressed by them, being last hired, first fired, living under these curses. The Lord gonna save us from all of that, and that's gonna be the talk of the times. It says, verse 15, but the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and will bring them again into the land that I gave unto their fathers. So he gonna use the chariots, send the angels driving the chariots. They're gonna start beaming up Israel. We gonna go into the chariots until the Lord, until the destruction of the Lord upon Babylon and all these wicked nations is over with, and then we gonna get dropped off in the land of our fathers, in the wilderness. We gonna get dropped off over there, where it's a whole nother ballpark. Now we gotta pass through the rod. Now we gotta. Let me just go ahead and grab it. This is Ezekiel chapter 20. This is Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 33. As I live, saith the Most High. As I live, saith the Most High. Salakia, I keep fucking up. It says, as I live, saith the Most High Yahweh, surely with the mighty hand and with the stretched out arm, and with fury poured out, will I rule over you. Verse 34, and I will bring you out from the people. That's us receiving the salvation. He gonna bring us out from the people that we dwelling with right now. He gonna bring us out from among these heathen nations, wherever we scattered around the face of the earth. It says, and I will bring you out from the people, and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered, with the mighty hand and with the stretched out arm, and with fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness. So this when we get dropped off in the wilderness from the chariots after we receive the salvation. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Lord Yahweh. So he said he gonna plead with us in the wilderness like how we pleaded with our fathers. They was in the wilderness 40 years back then, getting led by Moses. The Most High had to kill all the murmurers. He had to get rid of all of them. That's why they was in there for 40 years. Because all the people was murmuring against the Most High, murmuring against the ways and the laws of the Most High. They didn't want to live like that. They wanted to go back into Egypt. So the Most High had to kill off all of them generations until it wasn't nothing but righteous people left. So he gonna do the same thing. Not saying it's gonna be 40 years. Don't nobody know how long it's gonna take for us to be in the wilderness, and to get into our promised land. But the Most High, he gonna have to purge out the rebels, like he just said. It says, verse 37, and I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. So that's when we enter into the new covenant. We're not in the new covenant right now. A lot of people like to think that we're in a new covenant right now, but that new covenant don't happen until we get those new bodies. Until we get the laws within our inward parts. That's what he's talking about right now in Ezekiel when we in the wilderness. So how's we in a new covenant right now? When he's saying he go cause us to pass through the bond of the covenant. It says, verse 38. It says, and I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress against me. So like how he had to do back then in Moses' time, he gonna do the same thing now. He gonna purge out the rebels, those that murmur against him. Those that don't want to comply with the Most High's laws and regulations. Those that don't want Yahweh Shah to reign over them. Let's get a precept on that. Let me finish this first. It says, and I will purge out from among you the rebels, and them that transgress against me, I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. So, like how it's saying, I believe it might be Mark. No, I think it's Luke 19. So this the book of Luke 19 and 27. Like how the Most High just said, he gonna have to purge out the rebels. Yahushua said the same thing. It says, but those, Luke 19 and 27, but those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. So we gonna begin slaying in the wilderness, you know. Those that don't want to comply with the Most High and don't want Yahushua to reign over them, you know, he gonna have us bring them here. He gonna have us bring them in front of him and slay them in front of him, man. You know, to show our loyalty, you know, to prove our righteousness, and to show what's gonna happen to the people that don't want to be loyal, that don't want to be righteous, that don't want to comply, you know, that don't want to change their wicked lifestyle, you know, that's not happy that they got saved, that's not happy, that want to look back like Lot's wife did into Babylon, which is already destroyed. You know, that's what's gonna happen to them people. They gonna die in the wilderness. So, you know, I'm gonna just go ahead and clear this up. It's dead out here. Ain't really nobody walking past. So I'm gonna bid Israel a hearty shalom and keep the commandments and keep the faith, Israel. Calm Yasha Allah.